Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcasts ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the e-commerce minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts Bart Mraz and John Suter. The e-commerce minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's the e-commerce minute for March 7th, 2018.
In today's episode, Warby Parker to hit 100 stores as web retailers follow suit.
Online eyeglass seller Warby Parker has big ambitions for brick and mortar retail. The company, founded in 2010, is looking to have nearly 100 retail locations across the U.S. this year. Warby Parker began as one of the first online-only eyeglass stores and was known for its unique hip designs and their free try-on policy, where they'd send you 5 sets of lenses to try on in the comfort of your home. The company was also one of the first to help move the trend of online moving offline, blending their online and offline businesses by opening physical retail locations in New York. Opening more retail locations allowed Warby to gain more exposure and to learn more about their customers. Currently, Warby has 64 stores in prime markets. CEO Neil Blumenthal said to CNBC that Warby has also tested pop-up shops, stores on wheels, which were decked-out school buses, and other mediums to reach customers. Blumenthal went on to say, "We think the presentation by retail experts of either online or offline is a false choice. It is really the intersection of the two, and we are trying to approach retail expansion in a very deliberate manner, where we are testing and learning." Warby joins other online merchants exploring the online moving offline model like Everlane, Harry's, Untuckit, Boll & Branch, Allbirds, and most recently Casper, which just opened its first store at 627 in New York City's NoHo neighborhood.
So now we're going to put it instantaneously on the street, not on the line.
Oh, we're going to open the mattresses in the street. Expand.
This is how it happens.
Put the mattress in a box.
Well, obviously this is the way to go. I think, I love the idea of all these online retailers opening stores, because I think they have a different appreciation of the retail space, as the other side is totally different. The retailers going online, like I don't know. There's the way of thinking is different about it.
The way of thinking is definitely different. They're
Right.
digitally native brands, so they're more in tune with the supply chain. And what is interesting with this is that they don't have the traditional needs that, they go to a landlord or a mall and say, "Oh, I need 15,000 square feet." They could set up in a third of that and still sell as much or more product.
Yeah, because if you think about it, right? So we did work for Bonobos at one point in our lifetime. But Harry's, Bonobos, Untuckit, all these guys, like, you go to a Bonobo store, you try the pants, they fit great. They're like, "Okay, well, how many do you want? We'll get them delivered to you tomorrow." And you leave the store without bags. You don't have to have them. You just, you can walk in lunchtime and they're delivered the next day to your house.
Right. So you don't need the space for inventory. You don't need the space for packaging. It's like when we went into the Untuckit, we tell the story all the time. The guy was giving us drinks and letting us try on shirts, and okay, here's my card. Go order online. I don't care if you do or don't. It's partially a marketing play. It's an awareness play.
Well, they're more like a fitting room, right? It's the same thing with Warby Parker. You go there, you're like, "Oh,
great analogy.
It's a fitting room because you go, "Oh, this fits me." And the guy was like, he actually was really, really helpful. It was amazing.
He was great.
He's like, "Try these two. I think this one would be better." And I tried it. He's like, "Oh, this is the size you should be buying because it fits you better and it looks great." and we can order one for you right now. Look at the colors, or here's my card. You just put my code in, whatever else.
We should totally do another show on customer service, but I still have that guy's card, and I'm going to order a bunch of shirts this week.
Yeah.
So what's neat about this is the landlords like it because there's so much empty mall and retail real estate. They can get somebody in there. They can give flexible terms. A lot of these landlords will do commission based. It's not like the olden days where it's like, oh, you have to sign a lease for 10 years. Now it's like, oh, you know what? You want to rent this for 6 months and whatever, we'll take it. And I think that a thing like this is the thing that always kind of stopped me. And I bought a mattress a year and a half ago, and I went to the furniture store. And how the hell do you buy a mattress in a furniture store? And I thought, I want to buy a Casper, but I don't know, a mattress in a box. So I went to the furniture store and I bought a mattress. And a year and a half later, I'm not super happy with it, but I still have that mystery in my head of, well, how good is this Casper? And now a place, if you could go and check out a Casper, it's even with the eyeglasses. I don't think Warby does the try-on boxes anymore, but now there's a Warby. It's funny. There's a Warby right near the Untuckit store down in Center City, Philadelphia. I went in there and I spent some time and I found glasses that I actually liked. I'll go home and order them online because I have my prescription here and I'll do it that way. And I think that this blend is kind of the future of where the online moving offline, it's whatever term that is. I think that's where it's going.
Right. I mean, you go to a store, you can try it on, you can order them if you want to. But having, the back and forth and having that access to wherever you are, you don't have to go to store, is probably the way to go for them.
Yep. Online and offline retailing are blurring. And I think it's a good thing for everybody. It's great for the online retailers, and obviously it's good for the people in real estate. And if people stores are filled, then everyone else does better. The tax base grows and there's less crime and blah, 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 blah.
The supply chain
for the day.
The supply chain is where it's at, right? It's more efficient that way.
Exactly. All right. Very good. Got anything else?
Just a cost savings to you.
Just a cost save. We save you money. All right. That's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion or just want to say hi, find us on social media @Sumo Heavy.